Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so it looks like some good news when it comes to YFN Lucci. So YFN Lucci has been down, man. He's been locked down for a little while since this murder case or investigation has started. Now, YFN Lucci has had plenty of ups and downs, man. It's been mostly downs, though. There's been news coming out every couple of weeks ever since he got locked up or in his situation last month where he was arrested for the shooting death of one of his own passengers in his own vehicle, allegedly. Now, YFN Lucci's story is kind of weird, man. There's a lot of twists and turns. I've done several videos about this subject because there's so much detail to what's been going on. But today, it looks like YFN Lucci is actually a free man. Now, for anybody who's been lost in the sauce and ain't been able to keep up with all the new developments, don't worry, I'm gonna do you a favor, man. We're gonna go over all that, and we're gonna talk about the specifics with his release. Like, there's a whole bunch of specifications that he has to abide by in order to remain free on bond. Now, before we get into those specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. All right, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about YFN Lucci just a little bit, man. All right, so to get you guys caught up, YFN Lucci is a rapper from Atlanta. He's pretty much a superstar as far as, rap is concerned. And dude caught a case, man. He caught a murder case. And there was a lot to go into his murder case, man. So it was being said that being alleged that the Atlanta rapper YFN Lucci was behind the wheel of a car when a gang-related drive-by shooting left one of his passengers dead last month. Now, the Southwest Atlanta recording artist was basically issued a warrant, and he was a wanted man for a little bit, but he smartened up, turned himself in, lawyered up, and he's been locked up since then. The details of this case came out real shaky. At first, everybody was thinking that YFN Lucci was the shooter. Then we came to find out that YFN Lucci was accused of being a participant in a well-known Atlanta street gang. Then we found out there was a recording of the shooting victim after he had been after he lost his life, So there was a recording of two of the witnesses who saw the shooting victim, the person who lost their life, fall out of the car and whatnot, and that went viral, man. I did a whole video on that. You'd have to check that out because there's a lot more details than what I'm explaining here. But just know that YFN Lucci was wanted for murder and turned himself in, and then as he was turned in, all these details came out from the case talking about alleging he was a part of a gang, alleging he was the driver, and that's what he's being charged with, man. So in Georgia, it's one of those states where if you're committing a felony or in the act of committing a felony, and somebody that you're with gets killed, you actually catch that murder charge as well, man. A lot of people jumped in my comments and told me about that. I wasn't sure if it was one of those states or not because a lot of states aren't like that. But when you look at everything else that they have against YFN Lucci, it doesn't seem like he's going to be seeing a lifetime sentence or anything of that nature. So it should be no surprise that YFN Lucci was granted bond today, man. So he was granted bond, I guess, at his last court hearing. And man, he was given a bond today and he was bailed out of jail, right? Now, the bond is allegedly $500,000. So I'm assuming he had to put up, 10%, 20%, depending on the state. So it's either anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000. But this is the story, and this is straight from TMZ, man. I give them their props because, man, a lot of times with a lot of these stories, they are right on target. So this is what they're saying. They're saying YFN Lucci is back on the outside after being arrested for murder. But a judge is imposing limitations to keep him from booking out of town or hurting anyone. Now, they also talk about the fact that he had the $500,000 bond to get released. And then they said once the money was posted, a jail rep said Lucci was cut loose at around 4 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time. And, they left him with a list of things that he could and couldn't do. So he's got a long list of things that he has to abide by in order to stay free. But this is good news because he's free. I mean, it's easier to stick to this list of things to do than to be trying to fight a murder case or any type of involvement in a murder case from inside. So I'm sure YFN Lucci and his team are elated. But man, what could be the rules that he has to abide by? So man, let's take a look at the list, man, because it seems like, man, when there's a list like this or something that goes on like this, it's like another thing to trip you up to get you back in jail after you just spent your hard-earned money to get back on the street. So, man, let's look at what the rules that the judge came up for YFN Lucci. So it says, for starters, he has to surrender his passport and wear an ankle monitor while living in an undisclosed location. And he needs to be at that place between 7 o'clock p.m. and 7 o'clock a.m. So looks like they cut out his ability to do any type of shows because, I mean, from 7 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to be able to do any shows unless you're doing them daytime at a day party or something like that. So let's continue. So outside of those hours, the only thing he could do is meet up with legal counsel for his case and take care of medical appointments and see his kids. So basically, he's on house arrest, and the only people he can meet up with are his lawyer, his kids, and go to medical appointments if he has any. Now, also, Lucci is not allowed to have contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or co-defendants in the case. Now, this is typical, especially for a murder case, because they don't want any type of tampering and stuff like that. And nor can he associate with any known gang members or convicted felons. Now that makes it tough, especially for a rapper, man, because a lot of the people in their camp have records. A lot of the people in their camp might have been classified or as a gang member back in the day, and maybe not even, wear those colors or do anything related to the gang anymore. But once they're classified, that could pinch him up if he ever gets caught with that person. You know what I mean? Or I should say, jam him up. Now, he can't even post on social media, although his pals made sure to get a video. Okay, so basically, he can't do anything, man. He can't even post himself on social media. But, I mean, if I was YFN Lucci's attorney, I would ask, man, how is he supposed to make a living? Because a large part of his brand and what he does is done on social media. And then the crowds that he interacts with, as far as like party promoters, planners, stuff like that, you don't want to be doing background checks on these people, man. Like, what kind of sense does that make from a business standpoint? But if these are the rules to him getting free, he probably ought to just feel lucky for being free because, man, a lot of people don't get that opportunity. Because look at Casanova 2 times. He tried hard to get bail. They put up like a $2.5 million bail package and it still got turned down. Now, his case is a little different because it's a RICO case, but they're both almost in the same situation where that no matter what they get charged with, it doesn't look like they're going to be going away for life or anything crazy like that. I mean, the fact that he got bond, that shows a lot of promise in this case. YFN Lucci's attorney is a gentleman by the name of Drew Findling, and he took to the media and he said this specifically. He said, the bond was negotiated last week and finalized today, and that's when he was released before 4 p.m. And there's a video of YFN Lucci being released. It's circulating. You can probably see right here. And it's no audio from the video I saw. It's just an image that was repeating or whatever, looping. But, I mean, this is good news for YFN Lucci. Now, there was some last-minute stipulations that we didn't discuss, and that he cannot go to a specific recording studio in downtown Atlanta. That is odd because, I mean, you would think if he wants to get back to business, he's got to record music. But for some reason, he can't go to one specific recording studio. Now, there's plenty of recording studios in Atlanta, and during the daytime hours, if he wants to record, it looks like that's a possibility. But it seems like a lot of these things that they've put on YFN Lucci for his bond to get approved are really specific. And I wonder what the story is behind that. Now, what do you guys think, man? Do you think that YFN Lucci was given a really, really good opportunity here by at least getting bond? Or are some of these rules that he has to stick to a little too stringent and going to end up having him going right back to jail? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.